So just giving you a little bit of a flavour of what went on at the Rach and Bella Crafts retreat last week. Had a marvellous time. I taught a workshop. Here I am in action. And the lovely Steph from Hilltop Views Journal did actually video me. So stick around to the end and I'll pop it on at the end. I apologise now. As I was watching it, it was like I didn't crack a smile through the entire thing. I was like concentrating on what I was doing to demonstrate the technique. Then everybody went off and then did the technique for the rest of the hour. But yeah, I don't seem to smile when I teach. Maybe that's why all my students were scared of me. I don't know. But anyway, enjoy. Hi, it's Jez from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm just back from the Rach and Bella Crafts retreat. So I thought I'd share with you what we did. I'll have some photos showing everybody and things that you know, the location and that. It is absolutely amazing, the location. Let's put this up the right way. Yeah, so I do recommend it to anybody who would come. I have come back feeling renewed and rested and loved. It's just brilliant, and I laughed so much. Yeah. And yeah, I had a few tears as well while I was there, but yeah, it was good. And yeah, so I will tell you all about it whilst I sort of go through my bits and bobs that I've got. So this is the farm. That's as you drive in. There's a nice little lake there and a nice sculpture, one should say, I suppose. And then we've got the outdoor dining bit. Look at that stunning view. There's a hot tub just down there as well. That's the new gardening bit with the massage, the sauna, you know, the treatment area. And then just in the background there on the left is the outdoor pool, and there's a better view of it. Got sun loungers, nice place to relax. There's a lovely water feature, just the back of it there. That's the big farmhouse, and there's the barn there on the left. There's another view of the barn where we did all our crafting. Yeah, just stunning. It is. So we did a journal swap. I went to some workshops. I did my own workshop, and I shopped in Rach's shop. I got given a couple of things, and then I went into Abergavenny, and they have a flea market there on a Wednesday. So Wednesday afternoon went in there and I bought a few lovely things. So so we did a little journal swap. So we all had to make something for a journal, and we put them together, and then they all went in a sort of a raffle, and then we all got given one. So Rach made covers for everyone, but Angela Kerr, in her little group of 4, she made a cover for those 4 journals, and I won one. So this is an Angela Kerr cover, not a Rachel cover. So when we got our journals back, this one, it did have a piece of ribbon through there and tied up, but I had some extra bits that I wanted to put in it, so I untied it and started putting some things in it. So, and that was sort of like the idea, is like when you got it back, there was still room to put your own things in and have some memories from the week. You know, that wasn't quite a week, but there. So I've still got these bits and bobs to put in. So Rach made us all this with our itinerary and everything. So this will be going in the journal, and then we had these are the different workshops. So, and I've got some pictures from the workshops that I will put in as well. So that's still got to go in, but this was the ribbon it was tied up with, so I need to retie it, but there we go. So on our table we actually made a bit extra of the things that we were making for everybody so that they could be put in there. So these so my friend Christine made this pocket here and the one on the back, so I've put them on on the inside cover. So I like them, but obviously they haven't got a tag. But I made things in the workshops that I'm going to make things from to put in here. So yeah, so this, that's my tag that I made, but I love this, look. So that's a pocket. You think, oh yeah, that's a pocket. That's nice, there's a tag. But then this flips out and you've got another tag in there. So that was cool. So I really like that. We were given a sort of a colour scheme to follow. So yeah. And then there wasn't any like coffee paper, tea dyed paper or anything like that in it, so I've added it. So this is a lovely belly band. This did have a tag in it, but I've moved it somewhere else, and you've got all these little bits and bobs in here, which I thought was very, very lovely. So then I've added a bit of tea dyed paper, and then there was this, I've just hooked it in there for now. It might stay like that, but this was lovely. So it's a little shallow pocket there. So I've got this little thing there to put in it. Single moments make great memories. So I love that. I love this ripping and this ripping here. And I say, so that's just a tiny little thing to go in there. So instead of like sticking it on, which would look pretty, you've got this little extra idea of pulling it out, which I really, really liked. And then we've got some journaling space on the back, and I have grunged them up a little bit. I've gone round with a little bit of extra inking, because that's how I roll. And then it had these lovely little smaller bits of paper, which I really liked, a bit of book page there. And then I added this, and it's a bit wider because the cover was a bit wider, so I was able to put in this tea dyed ledger paper. There's modern ledger. Loved this page. How beautiful is that? And then there's this little flap thing. This was just paper clipped in, so I was able to sort of move it to somewhere that I liked. And so we've got this is mine. I made one of these for everyone in our group, so that can go in there. And then there's a tuck behind as well. Grunged it up, and then I've just put a little bit of original ephemera in there that I used in my own signature. Added a little book page there, which again I had used in my signature. And then I've added a bit of paper napkin. We did that in Angela Kerr's tutorial, and I thought it just went really nice with the colour scheme there. I am going to tea dye this, so yeah, that's partly why I didn't put the ribbon back in, because I used to tea dye that. And then there's this little paper bag, so I've put this little lovely tag in there. I like that. I thought the colours went. So I think I might sew this bag and add a bit of gesso and things. I didn't have any on the thing, and then I can put some more things in there. And then there was this paper with a pocket. So that was the tag. So this wasn't folded over. This was a page. It had that lovely border, and I thought, oh, I'll just make that a pocket. And then I took this tag that had been in this belly band, which I really like as an idea. So you know, it was a belly band like that, and then you just have the little tab sticking out, so you know to pull it, and then you've got that there. But I did that with it. So some more tea dye paper, and then this lovely centre page. And I thought, oh, that's a bit spooky, because I used this book in my signature. There is a video on that, may or may not have been out yet. And then yeah, that I might stick that down so that I've got a little pocket. And then we're going down the other side there. So then there was this is another clever little pocket. And so piece of paper being folded in a sort of a triangle and then folded in, so you've got tuck there, tuck there, tuck there, and tuck there, which is cool. And nice little round tags there, so that there, and one behind. And then there was, that's my tag. So there was this was an interesting sort of addition there. So I'll add some other things to it. Again, that one's going to be tea dyed, and then that's the other half of that napkin, which I really like, and love the way the flowers go with this paper there. So this is a belly band, and it had a tag there, so that's sort of how it's sort of presented. So sort of when it's in, just looks like a belly band, but then you see, oh, I wonder what that does, and then you pull it out. So that's very cool, and obviously there's a pocket there. So I've got some more things to add to it, and I've still got some swaps from previous retreats, and I'm thinking I'm going to put some of them in here, because I did start making a journal out of it, but it's huge, and so I thought, oh, I'll take some of the stuff out and put it in there, so I'll end up with a couple of journals to remember. And I've got to print off all my photos of my selfies and things that I did with people. So, and there we are. And what I liked is this was it's like a journal, and it's June. I mean, it's not actually June the 15th yet, but that was where it's from. And yeah, a little flap there, which I could sew on there and it be a pocket. So it's still very much a work in progress. Some people I think finished their journals, not me, but yeah. So that is where we are so far with that journal, and it is nice to sort of come back with a journal. I'm going to put a topper on it as well when I've done. So as I say, I did make things whilst we were there in the different workshops. So I have this pile of stuff that I made from the different workshops. So Rose from Journals in Time did this. It goes this way. So this is like a rolling journal. So we were sort of haphazardly stuck down bits of paper. So we've got sort of tucks and flips in it. Lots of old book pages. So I've got a flip there. I've done a little bit of stenciling. And the idea is that you decorate it, and then you can cut it down, and it can be journal pages. And that was a really old book, and when I folded it, it just crumpled. So I'm going to put something on that to sort of mend it. And as you're making it, you've got no idea what's happening on the other side, and then you've got all these bits on the other side that are actually really quite pretty. And I say we've got little different flips and tucks that, you know, which are like a surprise. And so if I cut that up and put it on a page, I get a secret tuck that I could shove something down in. So yeah, it was a great idea. Really enjoyed it. I did spend quite a lot of time thinking, oh, I like that book, and just pinching some extra pages. I had Bella sat next to me, and she kept going, yeah, Jez, have this page, that's a nice page. So I did end up with a stash of pages to use in other things. And then we had this workshop with Angela Kerr, and of filling a blank page. So we did a bit of stamping, a bit of napkin, a bit of gessoing, texture paste with stencils. So I mean, this was just me trying out random ideas. It wasn't necessarily thinking this is going to be a page, but I think this is going to go in my journal. But I only did one A5 sheet. I didn't do anything else, but yes, that will go in the old journal. I will finish it off, and then that will probably be a page in there somewhere. I might make a tag. So that's the idea with that. And yeah, enjoyed doing that. And it was just before my tutorial, so I kind of I was like a bit sort of thinking about my journal, and plus I slept in, and so I was literally woke up 20 minutes before it was starting, and I still had my own journal. So, and then the lovely Steph from my crafty twin from Hilltop View Journals, she did a wonderful tutorial on mixing paints and creating harmonious colours. So she'll probably do a tutorial on it, but it was fabulous. And then once we'd created our palette of paints, we then created these lovely sheets, and I think I'm going to scan them because I really like them. And so before I actually cut these up and use them in my journal, I wanted to get them scanned because I love some of the beautiful effects that I got doing this. I then used like a brayer and wrote, no, not a brayer, I used a credit card. I was just about to pick one up, but there's not one there. You know, just sort of scrape them on. So really, really liked the way these pages turned out. Just sort of randomly doing it. Created loads and loads of colours, and made all these. Really like that page. I think that was the first page I scraped onto. And then when I'd finished, I just then squirted my paint. It was acrylic paints we were doing. Squirted them with water and just dib-dabbed and created these, sort of dib-dab and a bit of smushing to create these 2 pages. So I was quite happy with that. So I've got lots of fodder there for making things. So I'll get them scanned. I can share them if people are interested. Let me know. I'm gonna have to slip this bit into the video because yeah, I realised I hadn't finished, so we'll bung this in. So there was a table of swap things, you know, things that people didn't want. Oh, that was from the dinner table. I'm sure Rach must have finished these ones now because this was from the first retreat, and then every retreat they've turned up again. So I've used that in a journal. So I picked up a couple of these. So this was the napkin that I put in my swap journal, just so pretty. So I did nick a couple of these, and this one too. I just loved that butterfly. There's 2, isn't there? Different colour. Yeah, there's a blue one as well. But that was lush. So yeah, I don't really need napkins, but when's that ever stopped you? I pinched a couple of these pages out of a book. I did pinch some more, but I can't actually see where they are now. And then Rach brought in a few books at the end that had been in a boot of her car to go to charity shop. So there was one modern book, but it had this fly sheet in purple, and my friend Lucy went, Jess, look at this. So I went, I don't want the book, but I'll just take the fly sheets. And then there was, oh yeah, there was this lovely colour as well. So yeah, I love them. This was out of another book. This one was older because there's fading round the outside. And then I loved this old page as well, and this old page. So yeah, so I nicked a few of those. I have a drawer for book pages, plain book pages, so that will go in that drawer, ready for when I need that. And then, oh, and I got given a few things. So this was from the lovely Karen, who was sat at our table. She was a newbie, and so she made a couple of extra of these and shared with us on the table. And so there's a little wax seal there with K on for Karen. She did give us another couple, which I shall put in my journal. I got a pink one as well. It must be at the bottom of the bag somewhere. But how cute's that? I love a little paper doll sitting on a ticket or something. But this is lovely. So it's a little tri-fold thing. So we've got a little pocket there. Pulls out. Beautiful paper. Really, really, really like it. And then, so I'll probably put this in my journal as well. So I love having a bit of fabric there as the tab. So there's lots of fabric that's incorporated in this. And this is obviously an original bit of ephemera, because you can tell, you can feel it. You can feel it. So this is from 1934. So that's very lovely. I always like a little bit of original stuff. And then that's really nice. And you pull it out, we've got a nice bit of fabric there. Not fabric, script is the word I was thinking of back there. So do what is good for your soul. And that is actually a bit of my mantra at the moment. You know, I'm doing things that make me smile every day. I try and find something to make me smile. I'm actually writing down just in the notes in my phone, 3 things every day that I'm grateful for. Doing it for 21 days. Apparently that can reset your brain. I love that paper. To, you know, remind it that you're happy. And, you know, I need to be reminded that I can still be happy. Even when my heart's broken. There is plenty, and I did laugh so much. It was such a tonic, that if I was one of those ladies who might not have the strongest pelvic floor, I would definitely have wet myself quite a number of times. But actually, my pelvic floor is pretty strong, so I'm all right. Because I remember to do all my exercises that you're supposed to do after childbirth. So there we go. So that was lovely. And then my friend Ronnie, she had a bunch of these lovely paper bags to share. So they are just stunning. Love them. So I could use them that way and fold over and have a pocket there and a pocket there. Or they could go that way into a page, a nice pocket there, and then I'd split that end. But these are just beautiful paper bags. So I'll probably hoard them for a bit, Ronnie, before I use them. And then she gave me this wonderful book, because last summer, me and Ed, on one of our little trips, when, you know, on the times when he was feeling okay in between chemos, we did try and go away. And it was actually the retreat last year, the Rach and Bella retreat last year that we went to, was the first sort of weekend that we went away like that. And we had a hot tub and we just enjoyed it so much, sort of relaxing, that on our drive home, we went, we're going to do this every sort of cycle, you know, of chemo. We're going to reward ourselves with a nice little weekend away. And so following the retreat, the next time was about 3 weeks later, and we went to Haworth, and we went round the vicarage there, and the parsonage, and yeah, and I said I'm going to do a Bronte journal at some point. So Ronnie got me this book, which just fabulous. I do love it. It's so lovely people. I've been so blessed to have been part of this this community and made so many lovely friends. Look, there's the parsonage. I went round there, and yeah, and look at all these wonderful things. I went, oh, I'm going to have so much fun. I'm obviously going to spend some time looking at this book, and then yeah, I'm going to just chop it up, because that would be lovely. Bit of ephemera there to go in. To make my journal yeah, really special. And it will be, and then I'll put the photos of me and Ed in there as well, so it will be a journal that I'll keep and not do anything else with. I did give away quite a few of my makes, that's the word, Jez. Oh, I remember walking in there. It looks exactly like that when you walk in. Yeah, so I gave away quite a few whilst I was there, because yeah, they're just gathering dust on my shelf, and it's going to be a while before I'm up to sort of listing any in shops and selling any, and going to the post office to post them. So yeah, so I've made a bit of space now, and I've got lots to finish off, and yeah, that is my plan. But look at all these wonderful things that I can incorporate, and I love that picture. It's just gorgeous. But I can now use in my journal. So yeah, delighted. And that picture is hanging in the house, and obviously at one point it was folded. Why would you do that? But now it's part of it now, and I guess they might have considered restoring it, but actually it's, you know, it's just lovely. So yeah, plenty of things to adorn a journal that I will make. That's means quite a bit, and I collected things from the trip as well. So yeah, now we'll rejoin the video. I've got one more thing to show you. This was in my handbag, And I was going out yesterday and I found it and I thought, oh, I better add this. So the video will be a little bit later today. So the lovely Christine, she was a newbie to the retreat, gave me this. She said she'd been to a craft show and she saw this and thought of me. And so she gave it me and it's really, really lovely. So beautiful bit of glass or crystal. So it's a pocket hug from me to you. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. And it's just beautiful. And my husband used to always buy me heart-shaped things. So it's just lovely and I love the feel of it. And I actually want to take it off the card so that I can just hold it in my hand. But it's a lovely sentiment there, so I don't quite know what to do. But yeah, how beautiful is that? I really like it, and I like smooth things, so a bit like them daubers, you know, I just want to rub it in my hand and across my lips, really, because I was weird like that. But how beautiful is that? Anyway, on with the video. And then I went shopping in Rachel's shop, and Bella's, Rach and Bella. There were things, there were handmade things in there, and then there were things that you could use in crafting, and there was original ephemera, and that was like, I'm not buying a bundle of original ephemera when I've got a craft room full of stuff. So but I loved these are like, they were like daubers. So I'm going to take these out of the packet, and I'm going to keep, Rach sort of designed herself a logo, and so that can go in my journal as well as a base for a journaling card. And I will of course keep my cellophane bags, but these they're such a lovely sponge. And of course I did go through quite a few of the packets until I sort of got the colours I wanted. I'm messing it up, Rach, I'm messing it up, and I went through, and but yeah, it's just all right. But this, you can't see, but I just rubbed that across my lips. So I said, I'm not actually going to use this as a dauber. I might use that one as a dauber and keep this one as just touchy-feely, because it just feels so nice. So whilst I'm thinking of inspiration, I could just stroke it and rub it across my face. So I'm putting that up there because I like them. So yeah, I got that. And then there were some lovely embellishments. And these are little book plates. I didn't take them out of the packet, I just grabbed them. So let's have a look at them. There, have a look. So it's a bit of a haul video here. Oh, I might put this out on Sunday then, Jez. That'd be a good idea. But look at all these. Love them. Nice size, because I've got some book plates, but mine are a bit smaller. And then you've got the screws, screw them in. So I've got 3, 6, 9, 12 for £2.50. That was a bargain, I thought. So these are great, because I do like doing like plain covers, and then just putting a book plate on. I really like that look. I'm going to take that out because that's got a different background, but I've got a drawer that's labelled hardware, and this can just go straight in it now. So I've like put it away, and I wanted the screws to stay with it because I don't want it to get muddled with the other ones I've got, because the screws might not be the right size. So there you go, you can go in there. Happy days. And you can go in the journal, Jez. And then I've got these. This will go straight in that, straight in the hardware drawer as well. So these are, so they're like a little bit, so you can put these on the spine of your journal and then hang a dangle from it. I think that's intention, but also I thought they'd be cool to go on the front cover of a journal, and then that's to open it. That was my idea that I might use them for. So I'm going to take that out, and then that will go in my drawer a bit easier. So we'll put that away. And then I got a bunch of mini corners. Now I make quite a lot of mini journals. I gave one to Bella, and actually I said to Bella, give me a journal and I'll put one of these corners on, and she went, oh no, you don't want to waste your corners that you've just bought. It was like, well, it wouldn't be wasted because it would be adding to hers, make it pretty, but they're lovely. I've got big ones for full size, but I say I do make quite a lot of mini journals, so they'd be quite nice. Or I just put them on a topper on the top of a journal, and that would look nice as well. I think they're so cute. They just give it a little lift. So if you imagine making a nice topper, which I am going to make for my journal, and that will set it off very nicely. So got oodles of them. I mean, obviously if you were going to do a journal front and back, you need 4 per journal, but yeah, so they're good. So that's me bits of hardware. And then and I bought a stamp set because I haven't got enough stamp sets so I thought they were really cool for a sewing themed stamp set. And what I liked about them was, you know, it's they've got all this stuff behind, and I'm thinking of stamping these onto fabric and make little fabric swatches for going in, and making nice little clusters, or a cluster top or something. So I like them. So that's going in my stamp storage straight away. Cool, I'm even putting away as I'm going. Wonders will never cease. And then I bought this for my craft room that I am in the process of sorting out. Started a series on that. I'm not sure if I've shown any yet. But I thought if I start a series and film it, then it might get done. So even got a bit of string. There were quite a few different styles. A lot of people bought them. Yeah, so that's nice. The craft room is my happy place. I might even put it on the door. I've got this one that Ed bought me a couple of Christmases ago. Jez's crafting place. So yeah, so I've got a few signs. I've got another one that says I'm happy I could craft here all day on another plaque. So yeah, I like them. Anyway, that one sits up there. But yeah, I thought this was very cool. So I might stick the string in there. I think, Jez, you're not going to be able to do that because you know to put glasses on. And yeah, you haven't done it because like it's just frayed yet. No, we won't do that. We'll wait until I can do it. But yeah, that is. I'm going to put that there to make me think about putting it up. So that was that shop, and then we went in the flea market. So what did I get in the flea market? So this was the first stall that we went on. They had loads of these. These are the Transport and General Workers Union, and so that's their union cards. So they're only just a little foldy over thing, but I just loved them. So this is from 1929, so dead old, and then we've got this on it, and I really like them. They were £1 each, and I thought, yeah, I'm happy with that. So I went and chose the oldest ones I could find. I got there first, so I nabbed the oldest of all of them. There we go, 1932. I like this because they had this little extra bit in it. So this was the union card, and then they had another little card that went with it. This was like a sweepstake one that I really liked. And then there was this yellow one. This was 1923, and I liked it because it had a Brad in it as well. So So that was cool. Another one from 1923 there. So not quite so much written on it, but I just thought lovely little bits of ephemera. And then we found a load of tea cards as well. Are they cigarettes? This was cigarettes, I think. And so they were all complete albums. These were £2 each. I loved the patination on these, and look at how stunning they all look. They had 4 of these, so we nabbed all 4. Yeah, because how could you leave this on the shelf? It's just too lovely. It's probably too lovely for me to actually use. I've got a feeling I've already got a wildflower one. But yeah, just love them so much. So that was that. And then I found another store, and it had this pile of maps sitting there. The pile of maps was twice as big as this, because I shared them. But it said £1 each, or the £2 for the lot. Well, it's going to take the lot then, aren't you? So I gave the other ladies that I was with, I gave them sort of 1 each as well. So they're just lovely maps with and they're made of, they're like cloth mats, but look how beautiful that is. Just the colours are stunning. Really love it. And so we'll just love the way that looks. And then this one again, just beautiful colours. So the way I use these is I would just take that section and, you know, sort of pop that in the journal to use. I mean, some of them are falling apart, but yeah, they're just lovely old things that are really used and worn. And then this one, I love this one. So this is Jersey, and there was one of Guernsey, so Guernsey went to a good home. And then I've got Jersey. Never been to Jersey and Guernsey, but there we go. And then this one is not cloth, this one's paper, but this one was of Europe and I really liked it. So we've got so yeah, it's the North Sea, and so yeah, we've got a bit of Germany and Brussels and Amsterdam, and goes down to Luxembourg and that. So yeah, like that. Loved the colours of this. So that was worth £2, and it was nice to be able to pass me good luck on to my mates, because we are all friends now. We've been there was some newbies that came this year, but there are a lot of us that have been to the retreats before, so it does feel a little bit like you're going on holiday with your mates. So that was that. And then there was this pile here that was just sitting down. It was just like that. I just looked at that and I went, oh, that's nice. 1959, I could see that there. I thought, oh, wonder how much that is. So I said, oh, how much do you want for these 3? And he went, oh, it is a bit of history. Yeah, it's not massively old. And so normally when people say that, you think, oh, the price is going to go up. And he went, £1? I went, yeah, I'll have that. So yeah, it's quite happy to have these 3 little bits of ephemera. And then I was just about to part with my money, and I noticed he had a table on the side. I said, oh, I'll just have a little look on there. And I went across there, and then this is when I totally lost it. And I'd gone off on my own because we got there just in the last hour, And so we were looking, and I left Steph and Angela and Rose looking at stamp books. I said, I got loads of stamp books. Oh, and there was a bunch of photographs as well. And I said, I've got loads of them. So I went wandering off on my own. And then I just stood there and I just burst into tears. And as I say, Steph saw me and came running across to give me a hug, bless her. And the reason why I burst into tears is because as I was passing over my money, I just looked down and that was just sat on the table, and it just stopped me in my tracks. And I say, I just burst into tears, and I just said to the guy, I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, I've just lost my husband, and he was called Ed. And I just, yeah, it really, and Steph came running over, no idea why I was crying, looked down, saw that. So then she could see why I was crying. And then Angela Kerr came over and Rose came over, and they just went, it's because he's with you, Jess. He's just everywhere. So, of course, I had to buy them. And, yeah, so, and I've got wooden printing letters that spell Nigezza, which, you know, me and Ed were in London a few years ago in Covent Garden, and they had this stall with all these printing press letters. So I said, oh, I've got to have Nigezza. So Ed and the stall man and myself spent about half an hour picking the right letters. So I've got Ed and I've got Nigezza, and so yeah, I can put the two of us together on the wall somewhere. So yeah, that's what I bought, and yeah, but that was the proper icing on the cake, and the knowing that, yeah, he's always with me. So yeah, that was the retreat. So I'll put some pictures up so you can see the lovely location, and all the lovely ladies that I met. Then they've got like spa treatments now there. So in addition to the hot tub, which we've always had, which we enjoyed, they've now got an outdoor natural swimming pool. They've got a sauna, and they do sort of massage and other sort of treatments. I didn't have a massage, but I did use the sauna, and I stupidly went in the outdoor natural swimming pool. And in Wales in June, when we haven't had the best of weathers, it was freezing, absolutely freezing. So Steph from Hilltop View Journals, she went in first and screamed like a crow. That's how Rachel described it. Rach was having a massage, and so being all relaxed, and it was just getting to the head bit of her massage. The woman was standing behind her massaging her head, and then they just heard this sound of like a crow, and Rach said she was aware that the woman behind her was like stifling laughter because she could feel her belly, you know, vibrating against her head. So then Rach, she went, oh, I do apologise for my friend, and then I went in, and I didn't scream, but I did swear. I went in and went, oh, and I might have dropped the F-bomb because it was flipping cold. That wasn't the F-bomb I dropped. And so then Rach and the woman giving her a massage were laughing even more. And then the woman, because she's into well-being, she says, oh, that'll do them the world of good. Screaming like that will do them the world of good. And then we were laughing, and there was Angela and Rose were on the sunbeds taking photos and videos, yeah, and we were all laughing. It was so funny, but needless to say, I didn't go in that pool again. And then Rach comes out of the massage and she goes in it and just swam like a swan, not saying, you know, and I'm like, she's making it look like it's not cold, but it was freezing. It absolutely was freezing. But yeah, she just serenely swam across. But yeah, it was hilarious. So, and then we went in the hot tub to warm up. It was great. So yeah, it was lovely. Lots of late nights drinking, and some people don't drink, but I do. And sharing a laugh. It was great. And we played some silly games as well. Yeah, it was really, really good. So yeah, I can't wait for the next one. All right then. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now. Look, a little bit of spoiler of anybody who wins the journal that we put together in our group, and we're just going to sort of show you what we're going to do. So this has got the baby wipe technique on it. The edge of this document there's a little wash there, but that's not the most exciting thing that you can do with a baby wipe. It's there on the packet. The most exciting thing is these bits, which is a lovely effect. I chose the colours for the colour scheme that we are doing for the swap journals. So I've got other colours. If you don't fancy doing that and want to go off piste, that's perfectly okay. I do that all the time. So I've got a sort of buttercup yellow there, a kind of sage green, and I use a sort of dusky pink. Okay, but there are other colours here that you can use. Rach gave me some inks that you use, like proper inks. I don't know that they work. These are re-inkers that you would use to re-ink an ink pad and stamp with. So I know that these are made for stamping. I don't know if the others will work. So that's... They do they? Have you done this, have you?
Yeah.
Good. You can pinpoint when I go wrong. So you're all going to have, take about 2 baby wipes, just fold them in half. It's a good job we've got a bit of plastic here. You will get completely covered in ink. Okay? I'm just going to take a bit of paper. I'm going to take tea dye because I prefer that. White's offensive. And so I'm just going to demonstrate the technique. So you take your re-inker and you're basically making your own ink pad with the baby wipe. So you just do a few dots. This one doesn't like coming out, but the pink will just go everywhere. So dot it around, and you can see, if you're close enough, that the ink's like spreading out on the baby wipe because it's wet. And shove a bit of pink, and this one just comes out really fast. And then we'll add a touch of yellow. I didn't put the blue in it because I find rule of 3, 3 colours work best. It's really easy for it to get muddy, and by the time you sort of get to the end, it is a bit muddy. There we go. Oh, there's a space there. Fill it. So that's how I think about my craft room as well. Space there. Fill it. Yeah. So doing this, I showed you some washes, but the first thing you do is stamp. So you've got your fresh ink there. So I particularly like this stamp. I thought it would go well with the journal that we're making. So just tapping around, And imagining this is the edge of a journal page. I just stamp it down, and you get the sort of the different colours there on your thing. And it works really well with, like, this one's like got a much solid base. Put this one over on this side. Oh, cool. And you get that nice sort of colour there. And I mean, it works well with text as well. I did this down the edge of the page. Going down the edge of the page with this. You could do 2 ink pads and have different colours, and then you could go over the top with some text to, you know, to give it a little bit of something extra. So it does. I'll just stamp them all so you can see what they look like, and you can decide which stamps you want to use. What have I done? There we go. So that is them all stamped. Okay. Put them wherever you want on whatever you're doing. Then, and then when it's got all a little bit muddy, and you know you've done all your stamping, you don't waste it. So take whatever. It's really nice on book pages, and I've done it on old documents. Then you just pick up one of your baby wipes, just kind of fold it in half. This is where you get really inky. The ink will transfer to your hands, and then you just wipe it across the page.
Oh wow! Okay. That's cool. Very nice. Yeah.
And it's stripes.
Oh, nice. Very good.
And you can do it in different ways. You can do a bit of a wiggle. Wiggle on. And you know, get different effects. If it starts running out, fold it up, and then you might get a darker bit coming out, and it doesn't matter if you go over it. And you can also take a stencil, and you can just push it, squish it through the stencil, and you can make patterns in the corner. And then when you're finished, you can just leave them to dry. By the time you're finished, you won't see the dots anymore, and you end up with these things that you could use, you know, in clusters or whatever you want. And you get all of these. I've got some other examples that I made earlier. Yeah. So I'll just leave these so you can sort of see examples. So you could, you know, make pocket fronts, make them focal points on tags. These are ones with just washes. I did that over some Edith Holden.
Oh, I like that. I mentioned Edith Holden everyone.
The effect on that, whether that's really happening or not.
Yeah, I've got a vintage photo.
And then you can use, so those are the lighter colours, but then you can use darker colours. So that was my favourite sort of vintagey, you know, using browns, and that's stenciled in the corner as well.
That came up fantastic.
So you can see how they look on book pages as well.
So the paper you use seems to make a difference.
Yeah, you'll get a different effect depending on what paper you're using. So I would just suggest grab some paper, grab some ink, grab a couple of baby wipes, use whatever stamps you want, and have fun and have a play.
Yeah.